Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today's topic will be about the bare-legged truth. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I am A Slate.
All right, bare-legged truth. What are we talking about here?
Okay, bare-legged truth. We're going to be talking about dress codes, body shaming, confidence, and couth. And what is it to dress your age or dressing your title? So we're going to talk about all of that and everything in between. So first, where can they find us? Okay, you can find us on Facebook, on SoundCloud, and now on YouTube. Yeah, and then we can also be emailed at
flywithusla@gmail.com.
You got it. All right, so let's get started with this bare-legged truth. This bare-legged truth, we've talked a little bit before, being out and about. But let me hear some more about how you feel about my favorite, most comfortable pair of pants other than jeans. Let's talk about these leggings.
Let's talk about these leggings. It's so much. I had to breathe. I get such a visceral reaction, physically and mentally.
So intense.
It is. It's very intense. So I used to have this mindset that, because I was fluffy, that I couldn't wear leggings unless I had like a long enough shirt to cover the dimples and the folds and the other things that other people shouldn't see.
Okay.
So then I had this mindset that, if you are skinny, leggings are okay. The same principle I think still applies. I want your shirt to cover up.
Okay.
At least mid-thigh. Even being skinny, I just don't want to see all of that.
You don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. There are some things that should be left to the imagination.
Okay.
I do believe that when you are out in public, no matter what public, you should look presentable. And a lot of times, as comfortable as leggings are, many women do not wear them in a way that is presentable. I don't want to see your panties. I don't want to see through your panties.
See, those are the new leggings I don't care for. I think those are the ones you definitely need to wear. Dress, long shirt, or the sheer ones.
Yes.
I don't want to see that.
The ones you buy at the hair store.
I don't want to see those. I agree about the panty lines. I'm always, thinking about that. But you dress the pants, right? So you're gonna be wearing these leggings or jeggings, because them work for me too.
I like jeggings. I mean, I have some jeggings, but I still wear a longer shirt.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I know I've personally worn the shirt that stops right at the under my fluffy part right here on my belly, on that part. But I want my butt to show. Okay, if I done gained that little bit of weight, I want it to show, but I'm going to have some I might wear a blazer over something, and it's still going to be that silhouette. I like the silhouette.
Great.
And then when you said the fluffy, when I first started seeing leggings, I was like, they only for curvy women. You can't be Pancake Patty in the back and have on these leggings, because it's not going to be a good look,
Pancake
but
Patty.
Each their own. I'm a fan of the leggings.
I wear leggings in my house. I also when I wear them in my house, I wear them with a long shirt. I have a teenage son. I have a teenage daughter. Okay. So I dress accordingly even around the house.
Okay. Well, I agree with that too.
I'm not hanging out and having my lumps and bumps and things that Fergie talked about, that's supposed to just be in your house. There are some things that the world doesn't need to know about me.
Okay.
My panty size and my panty brand is just some things that I choose not to share with the world.
That's right. That may be a good thing. I don't want to share that either. You let that stay Victoria's Secret, okay?
Exactly.
We're going to let that be Lady Bounce's secret. Okay, all right.
But and the same goes, for like men who sag.
Right, I don't want to see that.
I don't need to know the size and color of your underwear or the brand name.
Okay, and then since we talked about the women's leggings and jeggings, you know the brothers got these skinny jeans.
Oh no.
Okay, they got these skinny jeans and pencil pants and all these things. So yeah.
And I disagree with that.
Okay.
I guess this is where my age shows.
Okay.
But I believe that a man should look like a man.
Okay.
At all times. I grew up watching my grandpa. My grandpa worked a blue collar job. He didn't have to wear a suit and tie to work. But my grandpa always looked like a man. Always. His clothes always fit.
Yeah.
They were maybe a little baggy as he got older and he got, skinnier. My dad wears 3-piece suits every day just about.
Okay.
Because of the kind of job he has. But even in his off time, he still looks like a man. His pants aren't sagging. Yes. They fit. They're not skinny jeans. He's not wearing holy jeans. I don't want to see a man in holy jeans. I know that's the style.
Really?
I don't want to see it.
Well, I don't want to see. Well, I don't say I don't. I won't say I don't want to see. I don't mind it. But as far as me being a seasoned woman, seeing a seasoned man, I guess this is where it goes into dressing your age.
Yes.
I want to see the clean man and the polished man that's very well put together.
Right.
I think the holes in the jeans, I think they're pretty stylish. I have a son, a 23-year-old son, and he wears the holy jeans. He wears the tighter fitting pants that I cannot stand. But it's a part of, I guess, his personality, I guess. Or I'll say personality because he paints them and does weird things to him. And he's just trendy.
And I think for me, always having been, even in my teen years, not with the trends.
Okay.
And that probably shapes how I feel.
Okay.
In the beginning, I didn't get to wear the trendy clothes because there were 9 kids in my family, and we could not afford that. You got what was passed down, or you got what we could afford. So I learned, in my husband's words, I just learned to freak the basics. And I always looked good. So I think part of that has shaped, how I think about it now. And even now, as an adult, I dress trendy. But I have so many titles that I dress for my titles.
Okay.
And
I
so
get that.
When I'm out in public, I'm somebody's wife. I'm somebody's mother. I am my grandmother's granddaughter. So when you see me, you're always going to see me looking a certain way. Now, with that being said, I do have moments where I just want to run to Kroger's with my house shoes on. And maybe a bonnet, maybe not a bonnet because I don't want to do my hair that day. And some, sloppy sweats. But because of my upbringing, I won't go to the store like that.
Okay.
I'm always dressing to be presentable. I'm always dressing like I'm out in public because I am in public. I mean, essentially, even going to the grocery store, you are in public, and there are just some things that the world doesn't need to see. And when we were having a conversation before we started about making other people comfortable or uncomfortable with what you have on.
Let's see, since you went there, let's travel to 19. What year? Let's see what year, so we can let our listeners know. This might be a little dated. I think it was 98. It was. And at the time, the woman who wrote these notes was in her 50s. She was a seasoned woman.
Woman. I like that.
And this was from How to Be a Lady, a contemporary guide to common courtesy. So on A Lady Gets Dressed, she wrote that a lady does not wear clothes so revealing that they embarrass others. So I listened.
Can I just say, wait a minute? I like how you read that. Sounded like, we was having tea on somebody's front porch in Georgia. Like it was peach tea or something. I really felt very, very Southern Belle-ish right there. I feel like it was a hot summer day right now.
Exactly. Okay,
she needs a fan. She needs a fan. I need a fan.
So in reading that, I take into consideration that you got to let everybody be who they are, and meeting people who they are. Like I said, when my son wearing that, you say sometimes you go to the grocery store a certain way and dressing your titles. I am a creative, and to even think of a title right now as a poet, My God. You done seen me. And my favorite, since I had my foot surgeries, are Converses. I'm going to be somewhere in my Chucks. I will have on a ball gown, and have done it recently, and pearls, and a beautiful shawl, and my boots is under it. I got on my combat boots. Yes. I'm comfortable with that. I dress the way that I feel. I work hard to keep it clean and appropriate, again, because of who I am, because I am a mother, because I'm a 40 plus year old woman, and all these things go into perspective. But at the same time, to the sister that's walking around showing all her good night goodness, I'm gonna look at her and maybe sometimes kind of, wanting to look away, but it is attention grabbing. But I have to take note of what I notice in that is a woman's confidence sometimes. Mm-hmm. Her confidence sometimes catches me more than what she's wearing. And I'm looking like, oh, I admire her confidence.
Right.
She's bold. She's daring. She is comfortable in her own skin. Mm-hmm. And if it was something that I felt like maybe made my son swing his neck a little bit too much, my younger son, you probably could say something to the woman, but I think,
oh no, you can't.
You might can, or you if you had to, if you had to say something, if it just was burning you up on the inside, I think that we should have some couth, and not body shame. I think we should take some comfort and care when talking to people, especially when it's just something as simple about what somebody is wearing. We should work hard not to tear them down with our ugly words and thoughts. So yeah, that's just one of the things. But to embarrass somebody by what you're wearing, that's a stretch in there for this woman to say. I can't control how somebody feel.
Right. If I choose to be comfortable and be daring in my attire, mm-hmm. I cannot expect that everybody is going to see it and feel it the way I do.
Exactly.
And even with that, most of the time when most people get dressed, depending on where you're going, you're not thinking about dressing for anyone in particular.
Now, that was something else she had in the book.
Okay.
Dress for your audience. Who's going to be there? If you're going to a party per se, ask the host, what would be acceptable for me to show up in?
Don't show up to my wedding in a white dress with like a veil and stuff on.
And it's a new thing going around. I think the young people, it's just the young people. I haven't seen any seasoned people doing it. But wear nighttime attire. Midnight time attire is being worn as shirts with leggings.
Yes.
And it's indeed a thing. That could be a bit revealing. It could be a bit revealing.
And then you get one of two reactions. And I only know this because I've seen it happen. Mm-hmm. If a woman is looking at you based on what you have on and she's staring a little bit too hard, mm-hmm. then the person who's wearing it automatically gets this thought, oh, she jealous, oh, she mad. Mm-hmm. No, baby, I'm not mad. I'm wondering why nobody told you that wasn't the move.
Okay, come on, sister friend, let me know that right, a little bit too much is showing up here.
And then when a man is looking at you and giving you the attention that it appears that you want based on how you're dressing, then you want to be like, even he's thirsty. Mm-hmm. He thirsty. Well, baby, I'm watching for one or two things. I'm waiting for your boob to pop out because I want to see how you're going to react when it happens.
Oh, my. I don't want to see.
See what I'm saying? But now the man is looking and thinking the same thing I'm thinking, but for a whole nother reason. Mm-hmm. He's looking for a pleasurable aspect. Oh, when it pop out, it's going to bounce.
We can assume that.
Right. Is it going to bounce?
So, speaking of we have another version of...
Oh, yes. And how to be a gentleman, a contemporary guide to common courtesy.
A gentleman.
Now, this book was also written in 1998 by a man who was born in 1950, so he was very well seasoned at the time this book was written.
Yeah.
And he says, a gentleman gets dressed. In warm weather, a gentleman always wears an undershirt. Unless he's a Texas Ranger or a cattle rancher, he does not wear cowboy boots with a suit. But a gentleman When a gentleman wears a double-breasted suit, he never leaves the jacket unbuttoned. And the gentleman's pants cuffs fall in a gentle break over his shoes. When he stands, his socks do not show.
See, it's rules to this thing. It's levels to this.
So there's definitely levels to it, and I'm not sure. Let me turn this page here. Ooh, this is a good one.
Let's hear.
A gentleman does not carry unnecessary paraphernalia in his pockets.
What?
A bulky keyring or a Swiss Army knife destroys the line of even the most expensive pair of slacks.
Well, my goodness. Thank God that I am not a gentleman. Almost everything on there, I just said I do. Well, at least them boots.
At least the boots. But I think there's something to be gained from that. Maybe not as extreme, but in dressing for success.
Exactly. That's okay.
And I often, when I'm working with my students and I'm teaching them about job interviews, and I tell them, they said, "Well, do I wear what I wear to church?" Absolutely not.
You look the part. The part for where you're going.
These kids nowadays don't dress for church the way we dress for church.
Yes, right, exactly.
So I tell them, no, do not dress like you're going to church. Dress like you already have the job that you're going for.
Exactly.
Even if it's a fast food restaurant, you have to do something to stand out amongst the other 50 people trying to get this.
Put on your polo, tuck it in, and put on your little khakis, your dickies, your slacks, whatever it is that you have, and go ahead.
Can we say put on the belt?
Thank you. And almost make you think they don't make belts no more.
And again,
well, they getting better.
I'm showing my age here because my grandma said anytime you wear pants with belt loops, you wear a belt. Even if the belt is not holding up your pants.
I don't even like belts.
You
like
put
that.
on the belt.
I don't even like belts like that. But I think that the young people, in their defense, are getting a little better. They are getting a little better. They not always pants hanging down no more. Their style has evolved a little bit.
Oh.
So, yeah, because I seen my son even has a few nice jackets.
Okay.
That look nice. And they have some decent jeans. So, yeah, I mean, it's getting a little better. And they're fans of not button-down shirts, but definitely polos. I'm
a polo and khaki. You know, polo and khakis. And even if your
Uniforms.
khakis are different colors, but even if your khakis are different colors, like my husband looks good in his Dickies and a nice shirt. He looks like a man. His pants are not, sagging. He got like a grown man sag because his pants fit and they're a little bit baggy. He got the, I say, he got a little swag to him. Because the word swag is overused, but he got a little swag.
We're showing our age again.
But when I go places with him, I feel like I'm walking with a man. I don't feel like I'm walking with a female or with a man who is confused on whether or not he is a man or should be a man or what have you. When we go out, it's very clear. He is the man and I am his lady.
Okay.
When we go places. And even when we go places and we're dressed kind of, bummy, it's still very clear which role we both reside in.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does. Aside from not aside from, I'll do in addition to the role playing, I'll use lightly there. What about when you're just again dressing for your job, dressing the part, dressing for who you are? And we'll go to, I'm going to push forward to the bonnets in public.
Oh, Lord.
Because I say, as long as this person's clothes is clean, your clothes ain't stinking, I'm not seeing all your stuff, I am fine with me. It's not going to bother me because I know I will pull some pieces together, all kind of colors, and I'm comfortable in it. If I'm comfortable, please don't bother me about my clothes because that's how I roll.
But isn't that part of being dressed?
What do you mean?
Part of being dressed and being fit for public consumption with eyes, ears, smells, and things of that nature.
If we go a little bit further than part of being dressed, I'm going to give you a for example. Here's a scenario. My sister works 17 jobs and she got 22 kids, okay? And seriously, my sister works 2 jobs and she homeschools her son, and she has 4 children, a teenager and 3 younger children, and one of her jobs is a 3rd shift job. She goes to work at night. She gets off of work immediately. She has to get 2 children ready for school. 1 is already ready. She has to get home. I don't mind her and don't blame her for walking in the door, grabbing that bonnet, throwing it on her head because she done sat there and probably picked and pulled through the night, doing her hair, doing her rounds. And she throws her bonnet on her hair. She goes, takes her kids to school. She comes back with the other kid and sits down to homeschool the kid. Now she know time is wasting because a little bit after 2, you got to pick up one kid, pick up another kid. Somewhere along the way, you got to get a nap, and you done had to cook.
Right.
I don't mind seeing that bonnet, baby. You got too much to do, and your hair is the last thing you want to worry about when you come in this school. Because somewhere along the way, you have to do that. I don't mind the fact that you worked in leggings last night, third shift, because you didn't want to be sitting there in these jeans, and your job allows you to do that. You want to be comfortable while you sitting at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the morning. And if you have to run in the store, this is how you running in. Because I know your hustle. And I respect your grind. And I have to respect the way that you're doing it as long as you getting it done. So in that sense, I'm saying all this to say, we got to see past the surface of what the person is wearing and look a little bit deeper. So in that is a part of what the bare-legged truth is for me. Now, being that you are a professional in the schools, I know that you get to see children wearing different attire. Even though, do you have to wear uniforms?
They do have uniforms. We have dress down days, and we have field trips where they get to not wear uniform, and then we have a number of kids who come to school every day to try to skate the rule of the uniform. Okay, now what do they do? What are they trying to do that? Well, like our uniform is it's actually very lenient, I think, in terms of uniforms. Black khaki or gray pants with a black, purple, or gray shirt. So you have, nice combinations of ways that you can mix and match that up, for your uniform. But, they'll come in jeans. They know jeans aren't allowed. They'll come in sweatpants. Are jeggings allowed? Jeggings are not allowed. See, at my son's school, I see a ton of jeggings in there. And I'm like, does this work? And here's the thing. In most schools, it is in the dress code that leggings and jeggings are not allowed and they're not okay. But what happens is it becomes a minuscule thing to fight in the grand scheme of what you fight for in a school every day. You pick and choosing your battles. Right. Okay. So you pick and choose your battles. Is it more important that Kakisha came to school, or do we really care about what she has on her body? Because my son flat out, when I made a comment about it when picking him up one day from his high school, he said, why would they argue with them about it? I'm like, what? He like, why would the school get mad about it? He like, there's so many people doing it. If they suspend everybody, he was like, there won't be nobody at school. And I'm like, what? And I get that, and I agree with that. But at the same time, I believe if we are going to prepare our children for suspend them all, but if we're going to prepare them for college or for the world of work, because let's face it, a lot of them are not going to go to college. So I'm all for preparing these kids to work in the real world. Mm-hmm. Are you going to show up to your job wearing any old thing you pulled out of the pile on the floor when you know your job has a uniform? For me, I'm not going to say not that they're all going to go to college. I say let's enforce the rules now, because I don't want them to leave high school with the impression that you can just keep bypassing the rules. You can keep bypassing the rules and nothing is going to happen. They need to know that there are consequences when you don't follow the rules or whatever said things are in place at that place. And I have seen, because I have door duty one day a week, and I don't know if this is good or bad. I think it's a little bit of both. Okay. That there are girls that will come in, and I've heard this. Oh, Miss Webb is on the door. I ain't even coming in because I already know I'm not right. I already know my uniform's not right. So they already know. Right, because and they know, they be like, I don't even want to hear her mouth because I know she gonna tell me to call my mom and go home. I just ain't even coming in. And I think that that's a good thing, because they realize that this is the standard. And as much as I love you, I'm going to hold you to the standard. But the thing that happens is I only have door duty one day a week. Okay. So the rest of the week, they know that they can get it off, because I'm only there that one day. And if there's a day where I'm filling in door duty for somebody else, ooh, the looks I get when they come in the door like, I already know, Miss Webb, I'm about to call mama. And they pulling out their phones. And then what are they wearing most times when they're not following the rules? What is it? Usually for the girls is leggings and flip-flops. Flip-flops? Yes.
Interesting.
And I probably wouldn't sweat the leggings so much if they were at least black.
Okay.
But you can't come in here with like unicorns and donuts on your leggings.
It's distracting.
With like a little tiny shirt that doesn't even cover up any of your body. Like,
see, now with the leggings for the young people in the schools, I do have an issue with that. I have a major issue with that, mainly because, okay, they're young.
Yes.
I don't know if all of them are aware of what attention they may be bringing to themselves. We have young hormonal young men that are extremely hormonal, and they're looking at these, but I wouldn't want them to be put in a position that could have been easily avoided, that could possibly,
I agree,
turn out badly. So in that sense, I'm all for no leggings in school, no jeggings, no leggings.
I'm all for it for the reasons that you named. But also, when I think about preparing these kids for the next level, whatever that level is, and of course, you know, these are teenagers, so they're mouthy and they want to, you know, talk back and stuff. And I simply put it to them like this: if this was your job, would you show up 2 hours late, wearing your leggings and wearing your bonnet to go sit down and have lunch with the company CEO?
Right. Exactly.
Are you going to look like that? And then when your boss tells you you're not fit to work today, you can't clock in, are you going to cuss him out and risk getting fired?
Exactly.
Or are you going to do what you need to do because you got bills, and your bills don't care about you being comfortable at work?
So then, like, as for exactly, so they're going to come up short.
Absolutely.
They're going to come up short, but they're going to be comfortable in them leggings, okay?
Right. You'll be comfortable while you catching a bus.
Seriously, we have to also think another way for, like, if, like, for example, at my son's high school, where he said, well, everybody's doing it.
Right.
Everybody's doing it. We don't know all the time who's saying that this is okay. For example, my son wearing those skinny jeans that I'm like, honey, it look like you done stole your 13-year-old brother's clothes, and you walking around in them. It's really not a good look. Right. Me as a grown woman, like, this is not a good look.
Right.
But some woman, some young girl, some young pretty thing that told him, you look good in that, or something is going on. So who is telling them, or what are they seeing that makes them think that this is acceptable and this is okay?
It's
what if mama wearing it too?
That's what I was going to say. I think it's less of what is said to them as far as this is okay, this is acceptable, and more of what they're seeing. Children learn what they live. Children imitate what they see. You can tell a kid all day long, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. But if you are doing the same thing you're telling them not to do, you can't tell them not to do it because you're doing it. They're watching you and they're learning from you. Even when you don't realize it, when you don't realize they're watching you, they're watching you.
Always watching.
And they're picking up and different things, and you don't know what they're picking up because they're not telling you, hey mom, I saw you, you know, dressed with your bra hanging out, and I thought this or I thought that. They're not gonna tell you what they're thinking or what they picked up from it, but just know that how you act, how you present yourself, how you dress, they are picking up something.
Yes, and even from the teacher.
Even from the teacher.
If the poet is in the room, they are watching. So we have to lead by example. So that's one of our takeaways from the Bare-Legged Truth. You ain't got to shave your legs right now if you don't feel like it. You ain't ever got to. Because me personally, I'm not shaving mine right now. It's warm. No
shave November.
No, but you know, different strokes for different folks. I mean, if you don't want to shave, if you want to wear your leggings, just have a little couth and know that somebody watching that may not be able to handle what attention comes from that as well as you.
As you say that, our Mindfulness Minute today talks about the very same thing you just mentioned. So I'm going to have you read our mindfulness moment for today.
Let's do our mindfulness moment. We're going to talk about living with integrity. Integrity is about doing what is right through thick and thin, day in and day out, year after year. An integrity plan is your personal mission statement. It is a statement by which you plan to live, act, treat others, and interact in the world. Having an integrity plan for your life is a declaration that guides you when things get dark and confusion. To create an integrity plan, make a list of the things that you value in your life. It will have a forceful action verb to give the statement power. It will have objectives that guide you, and you will symbolically sign your name to this statement. An integrity statement might read something like this: I believe in truth and fairness. In my actions, I will not do any deed that will jeopardize my integrity or the integrity of my friends, and I'll add, or children. I will never compromise truth and fairness for personal or professional gain. Depending on where you work, I suppose. So let's just be integrous. I'll use the term ladylike or masculine men, but let's do everything with some integrity. That's our integrous mindfulness minute.
Okay. So, along with living with integrity, we're going to give you your self-care assignment that is about being in your truth, living with some integrity, and how to do it. How to do a little something. This is the hardest thing for me to do. In a lot of cases, it's hard for a lot of people.
But what's that?
Owning up to your mistakes. If you made a mistake recently, an error that no one is aware of yet, act upon it immediately. No one likes to make mistakes, but when you have messed up, admit it right away. Though you might be afraid of taking the heat, accepting blame before anyone else realizes what's happening makes you look trustworthy and confident. Unless you've committed a major transgression, people are more likely to remember that you had the guts to come forward than they are to remember what you did wrong. And that can pay off for you in a big way in the long run.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Admit it. Fess up. I did it. That was wrong. I showed you wrong. I told you wrong. Just fess up and keep it moving. Okay. Do it for the vine. No,
do it for the vine. I like that. So as we wrap up today's episode, you know I got to hit you with the brain science behind it all. There's a reason for everything. I'm going to teach you before this podcast is done how your brain works.
Come on.
All right? So each day we make the same choice hundreds of times, whether to tell the truth or whether to lie. It often happens without thinking, and we ignore the profound impact of these seemingly inconsequential decisions. Even the smallest lie can cost you money, impact your relationships, and affect your choices. Conversely, honesty offers many surprising psychological benefits, and here's how truth and lies affect your brain and your life every day. Cognitive dissonance describes the discomfort that you feel when you are holding two or more conflicting thoughts, and it shows up when you lie. As a result, it is necessary to look at the long-term effects of our actions, even when the consequences seem benign or even non-existent. Lies tax your brain, cause you stress, and harm your body. Lying requires a lot of effort. When you tell the truth, you simply remember what happens. When you lie, you have to consider what you're trying to hide, figure out a believable version of the opposite, give a convincing performance to sell that lie, and then remember it for the rest of eternity so you never get caught. Even if you're just pretending to love your grandmother's disgusting fruitcake, that's a lot of pressure. Furthermore, it builds every time you lie.
And every time she make it.
So you probably know that stress harms your body and your brain in several horrible ways. Since lying contributes to your stress level and you do it many, many times per day, you need to consider the impact of your secrets. The harm isn't self-evident, but it readily exists in the numerous health issues you encounter in your daily life. So we're going to wrap this up by saying, generally speaking, honesty provides for more mental and physical health benefits than dishonesty. So no matter what that truth is, live in your bare-legged truth.
That's right. Know why you wearing that stuff. Be honest with yourself. If you're doing it for attention, that's what it is. If you're doing it for something else, that's what it is. Just be honest with yourself and live in your bare-legged truth, boo. Get to strutting. So I am A. Slate.
And I'm Lady Bounce.
And you have been listening to Fly With Us. Always remember to first love yourself. Tune in on SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, or email us at flywithusla@gmail.com. Peace.
Peace.